Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose. Words from an Austrian psychiatrist. It fits today. Our favorite life coach, Laya Raznick, is here with ways to connect to purpose during the pandemic. It is so good to see you. It's been a long time.
Yes, Joe, it's good to see you too. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about meaning and purpose.
And we think about it as something in the future, right? We think, okay, what's my purpose on life? It's a big deal. Can I figure it out? But the truth is, if we really look at it, the meaning and the purpose in our lives comes from our unique gifts, our unique skills, our unique interests. And it's been with us since we've been very young. We're developing something in ourselves that's unique to us, that gives us tremendous meaning, tremendous root into this human experience.
So let's talk about some different ways that we can get through this pandemic, different ways that we can enjoy ourselves, because that may be a little bit difficult to do right now. Let's talk about maybe volunteering.
There are so many volunteer opportunities, and volunteer, of course, brings in meaning. Right? We feel so purposeful when we're offering something to someone else in the world. We are needed. If you're in your house and you don't know what to do, reach out to some local organizations, find out what's going on.
Now, learning new things, this is a great time to do that. You've got to be willing, though.
That's a very good point. And I'll tell you, as an online teacher and coach, the amount of interest has tripled in what I'm teaching online. There are so many things that you can learn right now. We've got podcasts, we've got videos, we've got Zoom. We're all zoomed out. We have Zoom-itis. How does that relate to meaning? One of the things that we can be doing while we are laying low is building what we're interested in the future. Don't lose sight of where you're going. That's a very important part of this time right now. Don't lose sight and think that this is forever. And you can be creating your life for after the pandemic now by learning new things, by experiencing new interests, by doing some of the things that you've wanted to do that you haven't had time to do.
I like that a lot. And the other thing that I think is important, sometimes writing can be very difficult for people. But once you start, it really becomes very easy. And it really is a creative way to express how you're feeling, what's on your mind, etc.
So I recommend, and I do this in my programs, is we start with journaling. Journaling is your own private little writing. No one needs to ever see it. But it's a good way to start getting your thoughts and your ideas out. And think about this. Imagine us from the future. If you are writing about what's happening now in your world, from your perspective, you're actually writing history. This is such an interesting time in the world. All of the viewpoints of how this has affected everyone are going to be valuable when we reassess this. So I highly recommend writing. And how does it relate to purpose and meaning? Start writing and see what happens. See how your inner world starts to unfold.
That's great advice. Now, something that I was not familiar with, but on your notes you sent me, one was start a gratitude jar.
A gratitude jar is a big jar where every day or whenever you're notice it, you take a little piece of paper and write down something that you're grateful for, something that might have happened, something that just occurs to you that you're so grateful for, and put it in the jar. And then when you need to feel grateful, when you need to be reminded, when you're feeling down and you're like, I need to remember how grateful I am for this life, you reach in and pull one out and read it, or you offer it to someone else. Go around the studio, here, have a piece of gratitude, see what's there.
Well, Laya, as always, you give us some hope, and that's the most important thing that we can have right now.
It's my pleasure, Joe. It's so good to be with you.
And stay right there. We'll be right back.